This is Wet Notes here on Scuba Shack Radio for May 6, 2021. I want to start off today with a story that has a bit of personal meaning to me. And that's a story about what some recreational divers found while diving out in Hawaii, off of Lanai. Now, I have quite a few dives out there off of Lanai. And these divers found some unexploded World War II era ordnance. They found 2 bombs. One was at 74 feet, and the other one was at 94 feet. The divers immediately notified the Hawaii Division of Aquatic Research, who went out to investigate it and confirmed it was unexploded ordnance. The report indicated that the munitions were about 300 yards offshore. The exact location wasn't disclosed, but it may be in the area of the first and second cathedrals. Again, personal for me because I have probably about at least 25 dives on the cathedrals. As of now, there aren't any more updates, and there was no mention on Lahaina Divers website, and they run many charters out to the site. Let's see where this goes. I recently checked out the 4Ocean blog to see if there was anything of interest. Well, there was a lot, but one thing did pique my interest. 4Ocean occasionally does a blog on plastics around the world, and that's where they identify articles or stories that talk about the plastic crisis facing the world. Now, one article was from Interesting Engineering, and it was written by Dira Osdemer. And this was about plastic-eating mushrooms. Yes, certain types of fungi can ingest and eat plastic. Apparently, in 2011, some Yale researchers discovered a rare mushroom in the Amazon forest, and it was able to digest and break down plastics. One of the scenarios suggests that these plastic-eating mushrooms could be placed at the bottom of landfills. Interesting. Over the years, there have been various successful experiments. So what's the holdup? Perhaps speed. It takes time for the mushrooms to eat and digest the plastic, and there's also competition for other investment. Now here's a bit of disturbing news that I saw from DEMA. Apparently, there is going to be a virtual meeting of the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, or the FWC, on May 12th and 13th. One of the topics on May 12th, I think it is a 2-hour discussion, is to review and update the Goliath grouper. Now this review is to look at if they should allow a limited, highly regulated harvest of the Goliath grouper. Why? Well, that's a really good question. Now, if you go out to the FWC website, you'll be able to find a detailed presentation on this review. Even if the science holds up and supports the harvest, I would have to ask if the enforcement is capable of a regulated harvest. DEMA feels that the economic value of the Goliath grouper are better served without any harvest and continue the protection they currently have. SOS, Thousand Island. Well, what's that all about? Well, for those of you who are familiar with the St. Lawrence Seaway and the Thousand Island region, SOS stands for Save Ontario's Shipwreck, Thousand Island Chapter. Now, this was reported in Scuba News that SOS Thousand Island wants to create an artificial reef off of Brockville in Canada. Why are they making such a bold proposal? Well, there are 3 main objectives. First, an artificial reef will reduce the pressure on the local historic wooden shipwrecks. And then second, an artificial reef can preserve the maritime history of ships that have been destined for scrap. And finally, this effort will assist the local aquarium in promoting maritime heritage and discovery. This is still a long way off, But there is some good news in that they have identified a ship that could be used, and it is the former Canadian Coast Guard vessel, the CCGS Montmagny. Now, this ship was built in 1963, and it was decommissioned and sold in 1999. Let's see where this one goes. Well, here's something that I just saw from PADI. I think it was on the PADI Pro blog. PADI Women's Dive Day 2021 is coming. And the tagline on the blog was, "Celebrate the connection between humanity and the ocean." This year's PADI Women's Dive Day is July 17th, 2021. This event started 6 years ago, in 2015, and it was started as a way to encourage more female participation in the sport of scuba diving. To date, there have been over 4,000 PADI Women's Dive Day events in over 100 countries. I'm sure last year was a little tough to get events planned and executed safely. This year, more places are opening up and travel is picking up. Everyone can participate. Be on the lookout for a PADI Women's Dive Day event in your local area, or maybe even travel to a nice destination to participate. And finally today, I thought I'd give everyone an update on traveling to the Bahamas. As of May 1st, the Bahamas Ministry of Health has released new guidelines for entry and departure. First, if you are fully vaccinated for COVID-19, that's 2 weeks from your final dose, you don't need a COVID-19 test prior to entry, nor do you need to fill out the daily health questionnaire, or get a COVID test after your 5th day on the island. You'll still need to apply for the Bahamas health visa prior to entry, and you still need to get a COVID test before traveling back to the United States. Now, we're heading to Nassau on May 26th, so these changes make things a whole lot simpler. Hopefully, more countries will open up like the Bahamas. Well, that's it for Wet Notes on May 6th, 2021, here on Scuba Shack Radio.